The college football playoff quarterfinals just took place, and ultimately, I thought it was a fun weekend. I think that's the whole reason we're doing this. That's the whole point of this, right? Is that it ultimately was a fun weekend. I know there was a lot of games that maybe weren't as entertaining as a lot of people thought they were going to be. We did have a delay in one game, which made one day not as fun. I understand all that. And the reason why I say this and bring this up because everything online is how like dumb this format is, how bad the bracket is, and how bad these games are. And ultimately, I think people just need to sit down and enjoy football and stop worrying about the outcome of the game. Is that every game has to be razor thin, razor tight. You had to have known when we came out with a 12-team playoff, there was going to be blowouts. Ultimately, this is college football, and at times there is a really big talent discrepancy, and there's a big historic reasoning behind blowouts, especially between two top teams. It happens. It happens all the time. It happens in all sports, but a lot of the time it happens in college football. And I think and expect the two semifinal games to be great. And one of those games might be a blowout. Who knows? The way Ohio State's playing, they might be blowouts. I bet you a lot of you didn't expect me to make a video like this, especially how you guys reacted to me picking Georgia in a video, even though I kind of explained in the video that I had to pick Georgia because I had bets on Notre Dame to make the semifinals. I had plus 185, I had plus 155, and I had to pick Georgia, so I guaranteed value, I guaranteed money. And I thought Georgia could stop the run against Notre Dame. They ultimately couldn't. They ultimately couldn't move the ball with Stockton. That's just how the game went, okay? Let's break down all the games. Start with Penn State, Boise State. Penn State was blowing their doors off. It was 14-0. It was about to be 21-0. I was like, holy crap, they're about to be 21-0. They fumble. Boise State goes down the field and scores. It was 14-7. All of a sudden, from 21-0, 14-7 in a blink of an eye almost. Ultimately, Penn State was able still to hold on to the league and capture the win against Boise State. And ultimately, it was a sloppy game, a sloppy game for both teams. And maybe, hopefully, Penn State can get a little more polished, better coached by Franklin for the semifinal game against Notre Dame. Texas, Arizona State. I think everyone's going to watch this game. I think Texas isn't that good of a team. I think Texas was killing Arizona State for 90% of this game. And then a couple things happened and a couple things didn't go their way, and Arizona State was able to come back in the game. I mean, there was 2 missed field goals. That's 6 points. There was a crazy trick play that led to a touchdown. That was an amazing play, and then plus a really bad interception by Quinn Ewers down the stretch led to Arizona State coming back in this game, almost winning this game, but just couldn't. Fell a little short against the Texas Longhorns. Ohio State blew the doors off of Oregon. I did not see that one coming, but it happened. It did. It seemed like the only team Ohio State and Ryan Day were afraid of are the Michigan Wolverines. It's like a little spell he's got against them. But ultimately, that team is rolling. Notre Dame defeated Georgia. I mean, Georgia, bad turnovers, too, led them to this losing. Turning the ball over right before the half, which led to a touchdown. Turning ETN fumbling right off the start of the game when they had Notre Dame reeling. That gave Notre Dame all the confidence in the world in the game. That would have been huge, a huge game changer if that fumble did not happen. Ultimately, they couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't run the ball. That's all it was. Georgia could not run the ball, and they needed to run the ball if they wanted to win this game against Notre Dame because they needed to get pressure off Stockton, and ultimately they needed Stockton to do too much, and he just couldn't do enough to get them anywhere close to a victory. That's just the way football happens. That's just how it's going to happen, especially when you have a backup quarterback. Everyone's saying online the buys need to go. The buys are killing teams. I don't think that's true. Like, when we look at this, one was Boise State, a group of 5, never even should have had a bye. Arizona State had the bye and almost won the game. So if anything, the bye helped Arizona State. Then you look at Oregon, they had a bye, but they just ran into arguably the second best team in this bracket behind them, I guess, if you think about it. And they got killed. I mean, they were just better than them. And they might be the best team in the country right now, Ohio State. So I don't think the bye really hurt them. And then you look at Georgia, I think Georgia would take the bye 10 million times out of 10 million times when you have a backup quarterback and you need to work with him, you need to get reps with him, you need to teach him the offense. So I don't think the bye hurt them as well. I think all these bye teams just ran into teams that are simply just better than them at the moment. We now turn to the semifinal games on Thursday, January 9th. It will be Notre Dame versus Penn State. Uh, I have plus 285 on Penn State to make the finals. I think I also have plus like 180 on Penn State to make the finals. So I will be betting Notre Dame just simply based off that, and I'll win no matter what. But I do lean Penn State a little bit in this game, and that's simply because they are a better run team than Georgia. They will run the ball. They will run the ball effectively, or at least more effectively than Georgia did. And I think that could lead to a little better offensive production, not have Notre Dame on the field as much as they were against Georgia. And I also believe that Penn State is better against the run than Georgia is on defense. So therefore, I think Penn State might match up better against Notre Dame than Georgia can. I would make Penn State -1 the favorite. Notre Dame's -2 right now. I would have Penn State -1 right now as my line, I think. Maybe a little bit 50-50, maybe. Second game, Ohio State at Texas is going to be a game. That's going to be a game. -6. I argue that's a little bit too much. I think a lot of people are just going to look at the two box scores of their games and see Ohio State's way better than this Texas team. Nobody's stopping this Ohio State team. That could be true. That could turn out to be true. I just think this Texas team not getting enough credit. I think this is a good Texas team. I think this is the best team that Ohio State's faced so far in this playoffs. I don't think that's saying too much here. And I think this is a really good front seven. Now, this Ohio State is finally learning how to throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith and these other really good receiving core. Can Texas secondary hold up against this? I don't know. I don't think so. But can Texas score against Ohio State? Maybe at a better pace than Oregon and Tennessee did. I would hope so. Ultimately, I do think this is the best defense they will be playing so far in this college football playoffs. I think it's going to be a really good game. My line would probably be 4.5, 5, not 6 for Ohio State. But who knows? Should be fun. Should be a fun weekend. It was a fun weekend. Hopefully, these two games will be a blast. Ultimately, my name's Josh Joseph. If you like college sports, you like sports in general, I promise this is the channel for you. So click that subscribe button. We are close to 200 subscribers, guys. Let's get to that number. Watch these videos that YouTube recommends. Watch the college football playoffs. That college football playlist that has all my college football videos on there for the whole season that I've made. So go watch that. Ultimately, my name's Josh Wissey. Thank you.